Okay, so we're gonna go over like the like some reference material for the like a guide session for the festivals that are happening in the Wish film. So like with the festivals, like I want to like because like so Eros is not like I think like the Wish film, it should be like it has to be like very like kind of like so like in the film in Frozen 2, I mean Super Colin Brothers, you can make a video of this and I'll come and watch it today. So like in the um in the Frozen 2 movie, it's like Elsa, they were saying like Elsa didn't really need Anna and like any of the other characters to be there. And like I think what they were saying is like it's like ramped up by like there was a requirement that they kind of have to be in the movie, but she doesn't actually need them. And I think kind of what's happening with the Wish film is as like Eros is not actually like doing anything like negative. He's not doing anything that is like he might be doing things that are like kind of like off-putting. Like he might be doing things that are kind of like it might be like saying things that are kind of like unsavory, but he's not doing anything that's like illegal, and he's not doing anything that's like necessarily like bad. But like I think that that's what's happening is that it's like um he kind of just like when Elsa or he himself like when all concealed don't feel like I think what's happening is that like he's like in his Eros temple kind of doing that, and like people are trying to like they're like doing the same thing that they were doing to Elsa, and these red people are doing the same thing that they were doing to Elsa. It didn't work. But like so the festivals in the film will kind of have like the similar since like Wish is largely like the world of like Paris and Hunchback. Like the festivals, I think what would be really interesting is if the festivals that are happening in the capital like the capital, I think like so the aesthetic of the capital are the like the aesthetics that we like laid out and like what we actually like genuinely constructed. Um and like what's like literally in the Sandcraft Online map. Like that's the capital. Okay, so like that is established. So like what's happening is there are festivals that are happening uh in the regions of the capital. And like what's happening is like Eros is like he's like, like getting things ready so that he can like open the enchanted forest or whatever and like open the capital, which like really is me like interacting with people. And so like I am like opening up the enchanted forest and I'm like opening up like the capital. And so like these festivals are happening in like on the cell phones because like in San Francisco we know that there are TV screens and cell phones, and so like the festival is happening like remotely. But there's all of these festivals that are happening, and like those are people who like have been like genuinely like there are probably people who have like tried to fake their way into the Capitol, like the golden tickets in Willy Wonka. But like there are also like people who are actually genuinely like welcome there. And so I think what's happening is as like these festivals are happening and like what could be really interesting if like there's two things that are happening at the festivals that are kind of going to mirror and like this is what it is my magic mirror power because I was a slave in the magic mirror I'm not now but like because I was a slave in the magic mirror power like the Baymax scanner is that like I think what my power is and like what Camilo's power is that um like I like have the power to like mirror like the Disney films that like have preceded me. And so I think what's happening is that like I have this magic mirror power and like just like Cloaca, I very much enjoy that power because it's something that I like earned by surviving being a slave. And so I think that that's what's happening is that like in the festivals like there are people like Quasimodo like that are like any other person's Minecraft server in the world really that like are trying to like swim up to my like my palace and like be in the Sand Fellowship or like collaborate with the Sand Fellowship. And there are people who are just like like marveling at it in awe because like they are like they know that they're not like qualified to be there, but like they're also like in awe of it. And so like those are the kind of people that you saw where King Magnifico is doing that thing in the where King Magnifico is like doing that like little show or whatever. That might be the little puppet show like in Corona, like Vlad's little puppet show or something. I don't know. But like that's probably what that is. And so like there are people who are like watching this thing and like kind of like marveling at it because like they know that they if they were to even to like try to go to the festival, it would like they would just like taint it or destroy it or something. I don't know. But like I think what would be really interesting is if um since Eros isn't actually doing anything like illegal. Like, I think what would be really interesting is if like the people, like the Quasimodo type people that are like trying to go to these like that like want to be like present in the capital, like Eros is just like no, like no thanks. But like I think what would be really interesting about that is if like whoever like Eros actually knows, like Dionysus, the Gold Shawl Boy, like these people who actually literally know him like I think what would be really interesting is if like because I mean Eris is very obviously like being held captive there like by like some Jafar type entity. But I think what's also really interesting is that like I just searched that Where's Waldo like came out in like 1987 or something, and Great Mouse Detective came out around that time like 1986, and then Fox and the Hound came out in 1981. So like these films actually all seem quite relevant, but like Ursula Vanessa was kind of like distracting me, and so I think what's happening is that like there are people who are trying to like snap Eros out of some of his um like infatuations with people. Like I kind of have like an infatuation with like Ariel and like Elsa, like these characters that like are Ariel type characters. Um, and like so I think what's happening is people are being like, hey, like there are these other films like The Great Mouse Detective, which is what you actually kind of are and are actually kind of doing, but like you're so like enamored by Ariel that you like don't realize that you are this character. And so I think that that's kind of what's happening. And so like I think then like so that would be a kind of a thing that's happening is that like there are people who are trying to like show Eros like other things in Disney that he like overlooked because of his infatuations with people. And then there are also like things that people like. So like Return of Jafar is like the first DVD sequel. I think. I mean I searched that, but you never know like what you're gonna actually get on the internet. But like because like Callahan has my microbots or someone has my microbots, and I think also what's happening is that it's like the internet, like some of the information that I'm looking up on the internet is like people who stole my microbots who are like trying to feed me like bullshit information that's not relevant. And so I think what's happening is that it's like so I like searched that or whatever and uh like so like what's happening with Eros is that like in the festivals is that like there are people that are like trying to well yeah so like Return of Jafar was like the first like Disney sequel so like Disney DVD sequel I think and so like Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, like Ralph Breaks the Internet and Frozen 2 are like touted. Frozen 2 is like touted as the first Disney sequel, but I think that that was Callahan because like theatrical sequel. But I think that that might have been like a Callahan trick because like Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, like Ralph Breaks the Internet was a theatrical sequel, like that went to theaters. So like it wasn't called 2, but it is a sequel. So like that's why it was like really confusing. I was like that doesn't make any sense. And that's really interesting 'cause I don't think Frozen is the first Disney sequel. And so I think what's happening though is like the battle for command of the healing realm. I think has a lot to do with me actually because I think in some capacity I like authenticate sequels or something. Because like Return of Jafar is the first sequel that Disney actually had like on DVD. And then like it just so happens that Frozen, which is obviously a reference to Agrabah, like the Prince Ali reprise in Aladdin. Like it just so happens that those Wreck-It Ralph and like Ralph Breaks the Internet and Frozen 2 just so happen to be the first Disney sequels because they're like the same movie. And so like it makes a ton of sense that like the battle is like we're probably trying to transition like Disney Junior is like probably a realm of like sequels and like a realm of like a realm of like stories that are like direct sequels and like so I think what will be really interesting because like Wish very obviously is like a Big Hero 6 sequel. And then like Wreck It Ralph and Ralph Breaks the Internet are sequels. And then like Frozen and Frozen 2 are sequels that have the same characters, like recurring characters in them. And so I think what's happening is like I probably am like the authenticator of like sequels of people who are like, hey, we would actually like to see more of this content. Like that's probably what Wish is, like more for us than this, and then like randomly like recycling the characters or like reusing characters, but then like changing the names like Under the Sea, like they like what's happening, I think, is that like in Little Mermaid, like there's a lot of things that are like hidden in like Easter eggs, but like the sequels and like Aladdin, like A Whole New World, like A Blue New World, is that like we don't really do that because we don't need to because we're not hiding anything because like we have secrets too, but we don't have to hide because we don't care. And I think that's also really, really well represented in the Iverona and Lanai like kingdoms because like Iverona has gates, like lava gates that like literally like enchant the kingdom so that you can't even tell what it is. And like in Lanai, it's like you can arrive in Lanai, but like you just have to be proficient enough to actually like get through the maze and then like you actually be able to go into the kingdom. But like there's no like actual gates in Lanai. Like there's no like gates. Like there are literal gates, like lava gates in Iverona where you literally cannot get in or you'll get incinerated. So like it's really interesting if like it's really interesting that in Lanai you just have to have the intelligence to actually like get through the maze because anybody who would have like the Great Mouse Detective, like a mouse designed that, or like somebody who was turned into a mouse designed that. So like it's really interesting that like that Lanai is built in such a way that like it is like well like guarded, but it's not in this. It's like it's not guarded though. It's just like has this intricate maze. It has a very like high tech like security system, but you don't really need a lot of guards necessarily. And so I think that that's what's really interesting is that it's like the like so like Lanai was built in such a way that like if you get through the maze then like you like the people who are there once you like arrive there know that you aren't like necessarily like anyone that is going to like come and destroy anything because like someone intelligent enough to get through the maze isn't going to do that. And so I think that that's what's happening. And so like it's just really interesting because like the sequels, like the films that have sequels, like direct sequels, I think what's interesting about those films is that it's like yeah, I don't feel the need to pretend like I'm not this person from this other movie because I like am not a criminal. And so I think that that's kind of what it is. It's like, and I don't feel the need to pretend that I have not ever like known any criminals. I don't feel the need to like pretend like I have not been like didn't get embroiled in like criminal activities because that has happened. But like I was just like I was born into that, and then like but I wasn't doing that. I was just like born surrounded by it. And so I think that that's kind of what happened. And so like then I like as I like grew, I was like, oh, okay. So like if you like vote in like a certain way and you like demonstrate to your community and to your society that you are like this and that you aren't that, then like you don't have to like hide things from people, or at least I don't, because like I I don't have to do that because I'm not a criminal. And like there are a lot of things that I like would like to do or like maybe kind of were am like mildly interested in, but I'm like, that's illegal, and I also don't actually want to do it. I just like kind of topsy turvy day want to do it, but it's not my actual like genetic code. But then there are things that are my genetic code, and I'm just like, oh, like we're gonna go to war now. I'm about to start a war. Hey everybody, this one's about war. Like that's kind of what it is. It's like if it's my genetic code, it's my like actual identity, and people are trying to hinder it or stifle it, then we're going to war. And it's gonna be a blitzkrieg. It's gonna happen in like 2 seconds. It's gonna start in 2 seconds, and it's gonna be over in 2 seconds. And so like that's kind of what's happening. So now people know that about arrows is that I will blitzkrieg the whole earth if you like try to do some stupid thing of like trying to like hinder something that is genetic. Because yeah, we're gonna do a full scale global blitzkrieg if that happens. But otherwise, have at it. Your heart's content is satisfied in the capital. But yeah, so like I think what's happening is that it's like the festivals that are happening in the Wish film as people are trying to like be worthy of these sequels or whatever, like the Disney Junior sequels. Like I think what's happened because Disney Junior, I bet, is a Disney sequel. Like I think that that's kind of what it is, or at least that's what people thought it was. Is that like Disney Junior was just like this like grand, beautiful, like endless Disney sequel, which it's not. But like that's what people thought it was. But I do think that Disney Junior has the power to bestow authentic Disney sequels, but Disney Junior itself is not a Disney sequel. But yeah, so I think that that's really interesting. And so, like I think kind of what's happening is that like what's happening in the Eros, like in the Wish film with Eros, is that there are people who are like signaling to Eros that he has like been abducted probably by like some kind of like Jafar entity. So like that's happening. There are people who are trying to rectify that situation, but then there are also probably people like Eros is also like doing these like festivals and things and since he knows like Eros knows that like he is like abducted or something or that like he is like he's either abducted or his kingdom is like under siege. And so like I think what's happening is that like he's like Eros is like abducted because there are people who are trying to like because they know that there are people who know that he is abducted and like he kind of drew these sketches of like what happened and like how he got abducted and like he drew these sketches so that people could come and like rescue him. But like I think what's happening is that it's like the rescue effort is like being hindered by like a lot of these false depictions of him and by like what people don't know of like what he drew himself. They don't know how much of that is accurate. And then he's getting confused because he doesn't know what people actually think he is because he knows that he's not literally the things that he wrote, but he's only like frightened, just like Elsa's afraid of people's reaction to the wind. He's only frightened about like what people think that he is because of the things that he drew or because of the way that he like described his police sketches of what was happening to him. And so like that's where his apprehensions are coming from is that he doesn't know what people actually think that he is. He knows what he is, but he doesn't know what people think he is, and that's kind of what's like having him be apprehensive about like trusting some of the people who are trying to save him. And so I think that that's kind of what's happening is that it's like in the Eros temple, like he is like having these festivals and the people who like are just kind of like trying to like temper him and kind of restore his humanity like I think what's happening is that like he is like these festivals and like the people who are kind of like resemble the Quasimodo in that situation is like people who have these Minecraft kingdoms and like because like the capital got Titanic like as soon as Minecraft like happened like so Minecraft is a Titanic like it's a craft it's a spacecraft it's an architecture craft it's a creative craft. It's a ship. The King ship. And so like it got Titanic. It literally got Titanic. It's the Titanic. Round two. And so I think what's happening, like Lusitania, Lithia, like it's the same thing. And so I think what's happening is that like there are people who like in Lion King, like there are people that like the boys that like so like where's Waldo? Like the boys in the streets in Aladdin have been like found. Like we have revealed ourselves because I Where's Waldo found us. And so I think what's happening is that like Dill and I like we did the Where's Waldo thing, like the diamond in the rough. Like Dill and I like found ourselves in the street. And so like now we're like, oh, hello, like we're actually the kings of this like situation that's happening here. Like the new kings of Disney Junior. Like that's what's happening. It's awkward, but it's true. And so I think what's happening is that like there are people who like are like we're doing these like festivals. We just like Lion King returned to Agrabah, or like even just like Aladdin returned to Agrabah because that actually happened first. But so we've like returned to Agrabah like again, and like we like again so like Dill had like a following of like Big Hero 6, and then like Wish is like the following of Wish is growing, and like the kingdom is like opening. And so I think maybe that's kind of what's happening because like I was like present in the Big Hero 6 film, but like I didn't like actually know what was happening. And so, like, maybe that was what was happening, since Tadashi is with Callahan, because, like, he became king of the Seven Majors, and then, like, Ambrodia becomes king of Lithia. So, like, maybe that's why that happened, because, like, Tadashi, like, actually works with Callahan, but then, like, Callahan, like, betrayed both of us. And so, like, maybe that's how it relates to Disney and why I don't know, like, where my brother is and, like, who my brother works for and, like, all of this shit. Because, like, the way that the story is playing out and like the hindrances that like occurred during the formation of the story is like I think that that's what's happening. But anyways, the Wish film probably has something to do with me like because like Tadashi like works with Callahan, and like the Wish film probably has something to do with me becoming aware that I either also work there or that I was like supposed to, but then like I didn't care because it was fake. Something like that is probably what's happening. But I also think that it's interesting because like the boys that are in the street, like Dylan and I, they're in the street in the Prince Ali song, like the original one. I think it's really interesting because like those boys are like I think it's really interesting because I said give me a good reprise and I'll give you a good review. And so I think that like what's happening is that like that's kind of like a Jafar situation with Ursula in the sense that like the Vanessa situation is the review, but then like the Great Mouse Detective is like the great song, the great golden one is that boy, like you were the one you've been waiting for, like Ambrodia's song. Because like that's like I had to snap out of the Vanessa Jafar reprise and like see my greatness, which is me and Dill in the street and like Big Hero 6 and Wish. So I think that that's kind of what's happening now is that um, like we're like having these like festivals because we've just like arrived and like we've just like returned um to like we've returned Agrabah to Big Hero 6 and we're like returning Big Hero 6 to like the Paris world and Wish. And like so that's kind of what's happening is that like these things are like arriving and they're like coalescing and me and Dill are like reconnecting and we're we're reconstructing like the our memories that like we're like lining the pieces up like mine and his. So like we're like lining up these pieces and like these like emotions that we like felt toward each other that like maybe weren't even all accurate emotions because like they were based off of things that like weren't actually happening because like hearsay like they were based off of things that weren't actually happening because we were separated like separated the Novera together or wait is it the Novera yeah separated the Novera together so like that's what this trilogy is and so I think that that's what's happening is that it's like so we're like talking to each other like on this like this phone because that's what the test is. It's like 12 years. And then that's also what happened because she said go and put into the test and she started counting. She put her finger up and it was one. And there's been like there's 12 films. And so it's been like 12 years since that happened, since the Gothel thing happened, that test was initiated. So like I made this thing that was like this 12-month like beautiful like calendar thing when I was in high school when I was on like in journalism. And so, like, I think that that's what was happening. Is this test is like a 12-year test, I think, and we're passing it. But yeah, and so like this is the final test. It's in the I Grant the Switch song, and like what she was doing that because she was trying to see if I could redesign Disney, if I could redesign the world, and I did. That's why Dylan is calling himself Dylan Dunlap because I did advanced redesign with Mike Dunlap, and the future has arrived at K State. Like, but well, the future has arrived from K State. But yeah, so like that's what's happening is that like I'm brilliant, like I'm a genius, and like that's what's happening. But like there's like being a genius is only going to get you so far if everybody else around you is being fucking stupid. Like so, I think that that's what's happening is that it's like Eros is just like really frustrated because it's like there are people marveling at how genius he is, but like at the same exact time trying to dumb him down. It's like, what do you even want then? Like, why are you talking to me? Like, why are you talking to me and trying to like make like force this stupid shit on me, but then being like, oh, you're so intelligent, you're so genius, but you're trying to have me do this like stupid, like lowly, like commoner shit. And so I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, so like I think that that's kind of what's happening is that like in the Wish film, like there are these festivals that are happening, and like I think what's happening is that since we just returned to Minecraft, like there are people who have been like Minecrafting, and there are people who have been trying to like pull this sword out of the stone, and there are people who have just been like kind of just like doing their Minecraft thing, you know. But like then there were also people who knew that that the kingship ambition was depressing and that there was like in Passengers how Aurora and Chris Pratt's character are awake. Like there were probably some people who knew on the kingship that there was a dead person in it. Like and so I wonder if that's what was happening is that these these two factions of people, like the people who in Lenai who knew that this depressing shit was happening, and then the people in Iverona who did not know that this depressing shit was happening. Like I think what's happening is that now everybody knows that it's happening, and it's really interesting because there are people who are who are like who want that there are people the people in Lenai. I feel again all of that is gone, but the community is still alive, and so the community of people that were refugees from Lenai are yay, sweet, that depressing shit that was happening to us isn't happening anymore. But then the people who were in Iverona who didn't know, on the other side of the river, who didn't know that that depressing shit was happening, were that's what happened in the story of a mouse, the innocence we eventually lose and look back. Those are the people who were in Iverona who were blissfully unaware that all of this horrible shit was happening in Lenai, and that it was largely because of the rulers, um the tyrannical rulers that were in Iverona. Those people are wow, they're refugees from Iverona, but they're oh gosh, ugh. like wow, man, life was I mean life was horrible, but we thought it wasn't horrible, and so now we're it's they're in the exact same situation, there's no difference, but they're in the exact same situation, they just know that the life that they were living was horrible, but they didn't know it was horrible, and now they do know it's horrible, and it's just sad. And so I think that that's kind of what's happening, but Eros is just doing these festivals. He's I don't care. I'm not in that fucking gorge anymore. So that's the only thing I cared about is fucking ridiculous ice cross dress that I was wearing. So it's now that I'm not wearing that fucking ridiculous Emperor's New Clothes bullshit ice cross, I don't give a fuck about anything that's happening. And so I think that that's what's happening is that it's Eros is just very coldly reconstructing the world because he's just there's no heat energy that is of any consequence to me. So I'm I literally don't care about anything that's happening right now because that's the literal entire point of my whole life is that I got turned into stone as a baby because I'm Eros and because I'm not attracted to women. And so that's what happens. The stone birds in Sleeping Beauty. That's what happened. And so it's I've been stoned. I've been a statue my literal entire life. And you guys are trying to pigeonhole me into these situations where I'm having to mouse detective my way out of them, and I'm this is so stupid. It's such a waste of time. When the simple solution is your daughter is not attractive, Callahan. That's the simple solution. It's that's literally all that anybody had to do was just acknowledge that, and then but nobody everybody's being so fucking stupid. It's so dumb, and so Eros is just there are these people who were just Minecrafting, and there were the people in Lenai and who also are interested in other games or whatever. But there's all of these entities in the world. There's all of these groups of people and types of people who are kind of flocking to the who were flocking to the Soul Symphony Chambers and who were flocking to the Sandcraft Online server and are flocking to Eros, but Eros is just I don't really care. It's I don't really care that this is happening because it's super boring. It's the most boring thing. And you're trying to elicit these emotions from me, but that's the entire reason that I was stoned my entire life is because I don't care and I never did and I never will. And I think that that's what's happening. It's I care about you as a human being, you're a person that is alive, but I don't have any emotion that is that is directed to you because you don't matter to me on that level because you're a peasant. And so I think that that's what's happening is that it's there are people that are there are people that are kind of topsy turvy day, Restoration Day, Liberation Day, who are who are carrying out the instructions that they're receiving from Eros, but then there are people who want to know him like on a personal level, but he doesn't care to do that because like his autonomy is being like squashed and like he's kind of being trapped and abducted in these like ridiculous situations. And so it's like they are seeing like the horizon, like Moana, no one knows how far it goes, and like the lights, like the aurora in Frozen, and like the 11 kingdoms that he signaled. So like in each of these kingdoms, like Eros's wind will like arrive in each of the 11 kingdoms that he signaled to construct the Sorcery Kingdom, and like his wind will like arrive there, and like he will like arrive there in wind, but like he will be arriving to all these places in wind or like on like television screens in the like not like in the future worlds, and then like arriving in wind in the like enchanted like in the kingdoms that are like actually castle kingdoms, and then like in the enchanted king in the like future kingdoms, like the like how that like timeline like how that like like that span of time, the golden time lapse sort of situation, is that like he'll be arriving in Wayne to the more like kingdomy looking ones, and then he'll be just like talking to people on cell phones in the modern looking ones. And then like what will be happening is that like he is like they'll all these people will be interacting with him, but they're like, we want to actually talk to you like in person. But it's like, yeah, but I'm not gonna do that if you're like trying to like pigeonhole me into a place and trying to have me there for like some set period of time that I don't want to do, because I'm not a celebrity, I'm a king. Like that's what's happening, is that it's like I'm not like I'm not like here to like entertain you. Like I didn't come here to entertain any of you. I'm an architect, I'm a king, like I'm a world leader. So it's like that's what's happening. And so like that's also what it is. It's like Disney, like Disney is a kingdom that is like making this film, but like Eros is just like, you work for me. Like that's what's happening. It's like I didn't even ask you to do that. Like you like are like just like Jafar is a vizier that works for the Sultan. Like you are trying to like force me to hire you and like force me into these situations. But like I don't have like I have an independent company. Like I don't need to hire anyone. Like that's what's happening. And you're trying to force me either to like work for you or have me hire people, but I don't need to do either of those things. And so I know I realize that some people do need to do that, but I don't. And so like that's what's happening. And so it's like your like money and like this like fake shit that you made up, I don't care about it because it's fake and I could just burn it all to the ground if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm not an asshole. But I'm going to make it abundantly clear that I could if I wanted to. And so I think that that's what's happening, is that it's like Eros is just in this world with like these like violent people, and he's in this world with these people who like literally are like committing like genocide, and he's drawing pictures of these genocides, and he's drawing paintings of like the and magic mirroring the like really like terrible things that the people around him are doing. But just like he's the lawyers and judge all in one, like Clopan is like Frollo, like he can like he Eros can like magic mirror all of these people, but he isn't any of them, and he's not doing any of the things that they're doing because he doesn't have to. And so I think that that's what's happening, is that like in Atahalan, like everybody is arriving, and like you are like this, like in blue, but you're not actually like this at all. And so like I think what's happening in these festivals is that like Eros, like Hito, like that scene of like Elsa and Alta Holland is the same scene of like the Kratek portals, and like it's the same scene in Wish, in like the Wish film with King Magnifico, give your wish to me. It's all the same thing. And so like I think what's happening is that it's um what's happening is that people are all arriving to this like Atahala wish sort of like world, whatever is happening, as we're like reconstructing this kingdom and like reconstructing the timeline and the order of everything and like correcting everything. Is that like we're all doing this together, but people want Eros to like communicate with them on a human level, but Eros is like, I'm not like being treated like a human, so like I'm not gonna talk to you like a human. Like that's what's happening. That's what he's mirroring to people. He's like, you're going to get exactly like he's literally like meeting everybody at the level that they're at, and it's frustrating everybody because like not everybody is as balanced and as like equal as Eros is. And so I think that that's what's happening is like I like have balanced out my masculine, feminine energy, my X and Y chromosome. Like it's like a purely scientific thing, but like there are people who are trying to come to me like unscientifically, and I'm like, no, like I'm like that's stupid. Like I'm not gonna talk to you if you're not intelligent. Like, and not even that if you like you don't have to be like a literal like NASA scientist, but like if you're literally gonna try to like have me do something that's fake, like religion, then no, like I'm not talking to you. Like I'm not gonna do anything negative to you. I'm not gonna physically harm you, but I am gonna tell you at these festivals how fucking stupid you are. Like that is gonna happen. And so like that's kind of what's happening. Is there will be these scenes, kind of like Quasimodo getting like pelted with tomatoes that aren't necessarily that like I don't. It's not gonna come across. It'll be look more like what was happening at Kraytech, like when Cray is like has doing this like press rally at Kraytech. It'll look more like that, where like there will just be people like in the scientific community and like just intelligent blue people that are just like doing these like press rallies and these like just like these communal events and like the people like and like what will be happening is that like they will be just like very just uninterested and like not even like like what will be happening is that like there will be these like kind of festivals happening that like kind of resemble those press rallies and like these festivals will be happening where like there will be people who are blue and people who are like light and people who are like are either like secular, like really like secular people that will just be like doing these festivals and like living life or whatever. And then like there will be like these like fucking stupid ass religious people that like everybody is just like, yeah, you're fucking stupid. We've been telling you that you're stupid like literally since like the dawn of time. Like 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 Hello Darkness, like Anna, because she's like dumb and she like just learned that her religion's fake. And so I think that that's what's happening is that it's like that's probably what it'll be like the people who like are like those people like kind of like how Simba's roar in the gorge like Scar is telling people that Simba killed Mufasa and Simba literally like kind of thinks that and that's why he doesn't return as king because he thinks that he killed his dad but he didn't and so I think that that's what's happening is that like that tower in Lanai is like it's a roar it's like a voice and there's a gorge there because like people think that I killed people because of like these things that I wrote, and I didn't. That's why it's on the blue side of the world. Because that shit didn't happen. And like that's why Jafar's curse is such bullshit, and Pinocchio is such bullshit. Because I'm like, this is so stupid. You're so dumb. Like nobody fucking died. I'm not going to like sit here and like apologize to you because like I wrote a story that I didn't ask you to read. Like that's why I'm like, you're so dumb. Like you went out of your way to like people went out of their way to like infest like America with like propaganda and like bullshit like literally like stalking people. They even made like this whole like fandom situation with these stupid teeny bopper girls that are like harassing men and like harassing celebrity boys and like all of this shit. It's like this is a disgusting world. How did any of these people think that they have any kind of moral high ground? It's so disgusting that people like didn't. It's like it's disgusting that people even like thought that Hollywood like that nobody like was able to see that Hollywood was absolute garbage. Like I don't know how anybody thought that Hollywood wasn't garbage. Like it's just so ridiculous. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like nobody cursed you. I didn't like curse Hollywood because I didn't go to Hollywood. Like I didn't. It was not. It's a Wonderful Life. It's not. It's a Wonderful Life. It was trash the whole time. That's what the whole Beauty and the Beast thing is. That rose in the Beauty and the Beast thing that the Enchantress gives him was already there. The rose was already there. That whole stained glass mural was already there. He probably just hadn't seen that window yet. Like that's probably what happened. Hollywood was trash the whole time. I didn't curse your kingdom. It was trash already. Like that's what happened. And so like that's kind of what it is that it's like I think that that's what's happening, honestly, is that like people like at these festivals, it's like every now and then, like Eros is just like reconstructing the world and like doing his architecture thing, but then every now and then, like somebody will be trying to redirect my like wind arrows, because like I think that that's what's happening. It's like Eros shoots arrows, and like people, like even with Eugene and Tangle, people have been trying to redirect the wind of my arrows, like conversion therapy, and like Eros is just like doing things like like he's just like constructing the world and like doing like productive things and like doing like beneficial things to society, but then like having to take breaks like a woman on their fucking period. Like he keeps having to take breaks because of this fucking stupid ass tooth gap and this stupid ass conversion therapy. He keeps having to take breaks from like these like productive like beautiful, awesome things that we're doing so that I can go and like coddle some fucking stupid ass woman or like some stupid ass heterosexual person. And then like what's manifesting is like this like wind recording session, like these wind guide sessions of me like having to upload something to YouTube that's like this like Topsy Turvy Day festival press rally of me just like having to take time out of my day to tell you how fucking stupid you are. And I think that that's what the like tomato thing scenes will be is like the wind spirit will just be like how it swooped up Elsa. The wind spirit will just like every now and then just be like swooping people up and telling them how fucking stupid they are. And like that'll be like the Quasimodo like tomato scenes. And then like that would be like the people who are trying to like temper Eros' humanity, like I'm sending this to you like the Camilo like that Camilo and Mirabelle scene with Dolores, and like the I'm sending that to people so that people know like, oh yeah, this is like the wind spirit scene where it's like this is what's happening, like this is what the wind spirit's like monster form is, like the Tafiti fire monster form is. It's like the wind spirit just turns into a huge fucking bitch every time like somebody tries to distract me with some fucking girl that I don't fucking care about, like Callahan and his fucking daughter. That was a story, Callahan. That was fake. I wrote a fake story, and then you kept trying to like war games me into like caring about this fucking fake story that I wrote, like Goosebumps, in like last 5 years. It's like shut up. Like me and Dylan are gay. We're super gay. I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for him, but like I am gay, and I'm super in love with Dylan, and I know that he and I are very much like attracted to each other. I won't put a label on it, but like I am super in love with him. But again, I'm not even trying to marry him. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't even want a boyfriend, but like why can't I have Alma? Alma said that to me. It was so funny. But that's what it is. I like to just she's probably saying that for me. That's so hilarious. It's so funny. But yeah, and so I think that's what's happening is it's like the wind spirit every now and then is just like taking breaks out of its day to like tell everybody like all the like fucking stupid ass dark religious people that they're fucking dumb and that this is topsy turvy day and that none of this is real. And it's like I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm like shut the fuck up. I'm not married to you. I'm not married to you, Christianity. Christianity is Ray. Christianity is Ray from When Jeff Comes Home, and this is an Anne Frank, Frank Herbert, Frank Lloyd Wright, Frank the Cupid Monkey diary. Like that's what's happening. It's like shut up. Like you're not attracted. I don't care. Like that's what the wind spirit happened. That's what's happening with the wind spirit. It's so funny. It's so hilarious. But yeah, so like that's what it is. It's that like that's what's happening. Is that it's like this stupid ass shit is happening because like these like fucking dumb people. I keep having to take breaks out of my day to tell you that you're stupid. Like that's what the festivals are. That's what the Topsy Turvy Day, Quasimodo tomato scenes are in the Wish film, and it's gonna be fucking hilarious. And like so like each kingdom, like Eris's wind will like arrive to each of the kingdoms. And like they like just like how Elsa sent that thing to Anna, like Eros will be sending these wind things to all of the kingdoms of the 11 realms. Like he'll be sending that to the 11 realms kingdoms that are like releasing their lanterns to construct the sorcerer's kingdom because like he'll be like sending these things to people of like, hey, like this is like how I am when you try to force me to do these stupid things. So like when I actually arrive to meet you in person, because I know you want to meet me in person, I'm sending this to you so that you know like please don't like do this like don't try to force me to do this like stupid shit because I don't care and like this is how it's gonna manifest because like it's genetic. I like genetically literally don't care about this. So like when I arrive here, I don't want either of us to waste our time like on this bullshit that is not like that doesn't matter. Like that's what's happening. He's sending this to them of like, hey, like I don't care about this stupid shit. So like these are all of the things that I like don't want you to like bother me with when I like arrive because it's a waste of your time and mine and it's going to be really unpleasant for both of us when we could just not do it because it's not necessary and it doesn't matter. That's the Wish Festival guide session.